What's up, YouTube? It's your old school expert, and today I've got PSA returns episode 17. We got some really nice returns. I did look at it online, so I just can't contain myself when I get the alert saying that my grades are ready. So I checked them out; they're really good. So we're gonna open this up. I just kind of cut around the tape, so I haven't opened it yet, and we're gonna see what we got. Looks like that is the back end, so we'll pull them out and face them down this way. It was a 15 card submission, pretty small, but definitely worthwhile given the grades that I got. So I guess we'll start with this one. I don't know what order they put them in. Sometimes they keep them in order that you sub them. Sometimes they mess it all up. So this was PSA 9 Dark Elf. I guess this was the only non-holo I submitted. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it's out of camera. The only non-holo I submitted, and it got a 9, so I guess if there was a card I would want to get a 9, it'd be this one, because it's just not really worth anything. It's just a cool card, but I'm a little surprised it got a 9 because I thought it was pretty perfect, but who knows? They might have seen something like a little scratch that I might have missed. So I guess we'll put the 9s here. Next up, we got Thousand Dragon, and it got a PSA 10. Oh, sorry. Keep messing up that angle. So there we go. Thousand Dragon PSA 10 first edition. This card I got from that one website where I got a bunch of Metal Raiders cards, and they were just dirt cheap and really good shape. And this is one of the faded variety. I wish I had grabbed my other Thousand Dragon, the other PSA 10 that I have, because it's a lot darker. The purple is a lot darker. This is more of the faded variety of Metal Raiders. So pretty cool. I really like how it looks. And this is already sold. So that one, I'll tell you what's for sale and what's not, but this has already been sold. Next, we got a Grave Robber, and this also got a PSA 9. I guess I'm not too surprised it's got a 9. I thought it was good, but PSV is actually kind of difficult. And it can be hard to grade, especially the supers. For some reason, the supers from Feral Servant don't grade all that well. So PSA 9 on the Grave Robber. I'll probably break it out and look at it, and if it's good enough for a resub, maybe I'll throw it back in there. But for now, it'll probably just go back into the collection. It's a really cool card, and I like it a lot. So next we got a Change of Heart, and that got a PSA 10, first edition. So this is going to be up for sale. Because I do obviously already have one, and I don't need them. This is like my third or fourth one that I've graded PSA 10. I've pulled a couple, and the other ones I've just gotten through deals. So this one is, again, part of that lot that I got of great Metal Raiders cards that were in excellent condition. So very happy with that PSA 10. Change of Heart. Next up, we got Air Knight Parshath. And this I pulled myself from my very last LOD pack opening. And so I'm going to keep this one and sell the one that I have already, because the one that I have I had purchased. So I do already have a buyer for that, but if he doesn't come through, we'll post it on my Instagram for sale. So I'm keeping this one again because I pulled this one, and this one's just, it's really well centered, and this one's just more nostalgic to me because I pulled it myself, so a little more sentimental value there. But there's an Air Knight Parshath first ed, and these in PSA 10, I think the population's only 5, so they're pretty rare, something like that. It's really low. Next up, we got a Harpy Lady Sisters of the faded variety. Again, you can see how faded the card, the ink is. It's probably just something to do with when they were printing these, they probably were low on ink. Not low enough, obviously, to change it out, but definitely faded. And you can get these straight out of the pack. It's not sun fading. But anyways, I think they look really cool when they're faded. And this is a PSA 10 first edition. And again, it was part of that lot. I know I keep saying that, but that lot of Metal Raiders cards I bought was just incredible. I did really well with that. So here's a Song of the Thunder, again from the same lot, and it got a Gem in 10, first ed. So this is again of the faded variety. You can really see with the level stars when they're faded like that, they look very different. Next, we got Hinokagutsushi. So this card in my very, very, very first YouTube video ever. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's really old. It's really terrible. But I opened a first edition Legacy of Darkness box. It was a 36-pack box, and this was in it. So It actually had good centering, and I graded it the first time. It got a 9. It broke it out, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it again. And it got a 10. So I kind of didn't think it deserved a 9, but it's not really a super valuable card. So that's why it took me so long to grade it again. So definitely glad that got a 10, because it's one of the oldest cards in my collection, to be fairly honest, all the way back in 2010. So really cool that that got a PSA 10. And moving on to the next card, we got a Garnecia Elefantis, and that is a first edition Gem Mint 10. So pretty cool card there. A lot of people don't like this card. I think it's cool. I'm a big fan of Garnecia Elefantis because I remember pulling it and thinking, oh, that's kind of like a poor man's Red Eyes because it's so much easier to get than Red Eyes, but it had the same stats. So there's my Garnecia Elefantis PSA 10. Next, we got Beast of Talwar. So this card is a little off center top to bottom. It's really kind of on the border of what PSA allows for a Gem Mint 10. The most they'll allow is a 60% and 40%, and that's pretty much where this card is. So I figured I'd give it another shot. First time I got a 9. Figured I'd give it another shot because it's super clean. The back was really nice, and so I figured I'd throw it in there again, and it got a 10, so I'm really stoked because, again, the centering is not bad enough for me to be worried about it, but it wasn't perfect, so I'd understand why someone would give it a 9 and then someone else would give it a 10 because that centering top to bottom is really, really close to the limit. So there we go, a first ed PSV Beast of Talwar, and this is not for sale because I don't have one, so I'm going to throw that in the collection. Next, we have a 7 Tools of the Bandit. This is, again, a card from that Metal Raiders lot that I bought. And, again, it's kind of like the faded variety. It's like if you compared it to, I know this is from a different set, but look at how much color is in that Grave Robber versus the 7 Tools. So definitely pretty faded there. And this card's for sale. I don't know what price I'm asking, not much. It's not a very expensive card. But I already have one, and it's also of the faded variety, and I think the one I have is one that I pulled, so I'll just keep that and go ahead and sell this one or trade. I'm down to trade some of this stuff too if you guys are interested. Always hit me up on my Instagram. Don't try to trade over YouTube. It's just too hard to reach me there, but definitely hit me up on Instagram. I'm pretty approachable. So next we got a PSA 9 Gemini Elf, first edition LON. This had gotten a 9 before, so it got a 9 again, so that means it's done. It's not going to go in for a third time. But it's it's all good. It's probably deserving of a 9. So it's still a beautiful card, and I'll probably pop it out and throw it back in the collection. But next we got a PSA 10 Gemini Elf. So that kind of makes up for the 9 that we got. No big deal there. This card is just so nostalgic. It's such a beautiful card. I pulled this one myself. The one that I already have in my collection, I actually purchased. So I'm going to be keeping this one and then selling off the one in my collection. So if you're interested in one, let me know. First ed PSA 10 Gemini Elf. That stack is getting high. That 10 stack's getting high. All right, so we only have 2 cards left. Nothing crazy, nothing special. We got a Marauding Captain, PSA 10, first edition. And these have a pretty low pop also. This got a 9 previously, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I didn't sub this one. But I've had this for a while in my collection. I don't know if I pulled this. I might have pulled this in some of my Legacy of Darkness blister packs that I opened. But I don't quite remember if this was one that I pulled myself. But definitely keeping it because it's pretty awesome. It's fairly well centered, especially for LOD. Left to right, it's a little off. So I can see why somebody might have an issue with that, but it's really not that bad. So got that Marauding Captain, first edition. And finally, the last card is a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Pretty easy card to grade, honestly. I mean, I graded it because it's such a cool card. It's a Joey card. Pretty much anything Red Eyes related is Joey. And it looks amazing as a secret rare from the Legendary Collection Joey's World. Way better, in my opinion, than the Ultra Rare from, what was it, a Jump promo or something. It was some kind of promo. And the Ultra Rare looks great, but this secret rare just pops right at you. And so I typically don't grade or collect newer cards like this, but this one was so nice, and I opened it in a Legendary Collection Joey's World that I had to go ahead and grade it. It was in perfect shape. I'm not surprised at all. It got a 10 because it's a newer card. So there we go. So we actually did pretty well. 15 card submission, got 3 9s and 12 10s. Really, really well done. Made a lot of money on this submission, especially because with these Metal Raiders cards, I paid like nothing for these. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, if you're interested in any of these cards, please hit me up on Instagram. The Instagram link is in the description. If you don't have one, just go ahead and make one. I mean, it's really easy to make. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to post anything or anything like that. Just sign up and then message me, follow me, and message me. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, stay tuned for more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh videos.